I'm 73 years old, and I finally understand why I spent most of my life feeling like I was never quite enough. It's a strange thing to realize this now, when most of my life is already behind me. When people I love are names I say out loud, just to make sure I still remember the sound of them. I'm not telling this story to make peace with myself. That part may never fully come. I'm telling it because I don't have much time left to pretend I don't see it. These days, my mornings are quiet. Too quiet. I wake up before the sun, not because I want to, but because my body doesn't let me sleep the way it used to. I sit at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee that goes cold faster than I drink it. I look out the window and watch the same tree I've been watching for years. I know exactly when the birds will show up. I know which branch they prefer. There's a lot of time to think when no one needs you anymore. That's when the question finally stopped whispering and started standing right in front of me. Why did I always feel like I was falling short, even when I was doing everything I was supposed to do? For most of my life, I thought that feeling meant I needed to do more, work harder, be better, stay busy, prove something. I never stopped to ask what I was trying to prove, or to whom. When I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, I didn't think of myself as unhappy. I would have told you I was responsible, reliable, doing what a man does. I had a job that paid the bills. I showed up on time. I didn't drink too much. I didn't disappear. That felt like enough back then. I got married young, not rushed, but young enough that I didn't really know myself yet. My wife was kind, patient. She laughed easily, especially in those early years. I loved her, I really did. But I loved her the way you love something you're afraid to break. Carefully. From a distance sometimes. We bought a small house. Nothing fancy. The kind of place where you hear every sound the walls make at night. I remember painting the living room myself because we couldn't afford to hire anyone. I remember the smell of it. I remember feeling proud, standing there, looking at what my hands had done. That feeling didn't last long. There was always something else to fix, something else to earn, something else to prepare for. I lived my life like a man, bracing for a storm that never quite arrived, but always felt close enough to worry about. I thought that if I stayed ahead of things, I'd finally feel settled, secure, enough, but that feeling never came. I missed dinners. Not all of them, but enough. I missed school events that I said I'd make it to. I'd walk in the door after the kids were already asleep and feel a strange mix of relief and disappointment. Relief that I didn't have to explain myself. Disappointment that I didn't know them the way I should have. My wife would tell me about her day, about the kids, about small things that mattered to her. I listened, but I didn't always hear. I was tired, or distracted, or already thinking about the next day. I told myself there would be time later, when things calmed down, when work slowed, when the kids were older, when we had more money, when life felt less demanding. There was always a later. What I didn't understand back then is that feeling not enough didn't come from what I was failing to do. It came from what I was afraid to be. I was afraid that if I stopped proving myself, there wouldn't be anything underneath, that if I slowed down, someone would notice I didn't really know who I was without my responsibilities. So I kept going, year after year, doing the next sensible thing, making the next reasonable choice. None of them felt like mistakes at the time. That's the dangerous part. Most of the things that cost you the most don't feel wrong when you're doing them. They feel practical, necessary, temporary. The damage was quiet. It showed up in small ways, a distance I couldn't quite explain, a look in my wife's eyes when she stopped asking me to come home earlier, the way my kids stopped telling me certain things and started telling their mother instead. I noticed it, but not enough. I always thought I could fix it later. By the time I was in my 50s, the house was quieter, the kids were grown or nearly gone, my job was stable, I had what people would call a good life. And yet, that feeling followed me. That sense that I was standing just outside my own life, watching it happen without fully stepping in. I tried to solve it the same way I solved everything else, by working harder, by staying useful, by staying needed. Then my wife got sick. It wasn't sudden. It came slowly, like everything else. Appointments, tests, changes we didn't talk about out loud at first. I told myself we'd handle it the way we handled everything. Together, efficiently, without too much fuss. But illness doesn't care how capable you think you are. I remember sitting in a hospital room, holding her hand, and realizing how much of our life had been spent preparing for a future we would never get. How many conversations we postponed. How many evenings we filled with noise instead of honesty. She didn't accuse me of anything. She never did. That somehow made it worse. When she died, the house didn't just become quiet, it became hollow. Sounds didn't bounce back the way they used to. I would catch myself turning to tell her something and then remember there was no one there. That's when the question came back, louder than ever. Why did I never feel like I was enough? And for the first time, I didn't run from it. I saw it clearly then. I had spent my life measuring myself by output, by usefulness, by how little trouble I caused. I thought love was something you earned by being dependable. I thought presence was optional, something you added when you had time. I didn't know that being there was the whole thing. I can't fix that now. I can't go back and sit at the table more often. I can't redo the conversations I rushed through. I can't show up for moments that are already gone. That's the part that doesn't get easier with age. Knowing exactly what you would do differently and knowing just as clearly that you won't get the chance. I still see my children. We're on good terms. They're kind to me, but there's a version of our relationship that never existed and never will. One where I knew them not just as responsibilities, but as people in real time. That loss is quiet too. It doesn't scream. It just sits with you. Now, at 73, I understand that feeling not enough wasn't a flaw in me. It was a misunderstanding. I thought worth came from effort, from endurance, from sacrifice that no one asked for. I didn't realize that the people who loved me were never keeping score. If you're listening to this, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I don't know your life. I don't know your pressures. I only know mine. I know that time feels endless until it doesn't. That postponing presence feels harmless until there's nothing left to show up for. That being needed is not the same thing as being known. If this sounds familiar, I hope you don't do what I did and push the thought away. I hope you sit with it, even if it's uncomfortable. I don't have many years left. I can feel that. My body reminds me every day. I'm calmer now, slower. I notice things I used to miss. I also live with the weight of what can't be changed. This is the truth I arrived at too late. I was enough, long before I believed it. I just didn't know how to live like it. If this meant something to you, you don't need to do anything about it. Just remember it. That might be enough.